to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. Tonight, I have the honor of interviewing the queen of the Bearded Oysters.
It's actually the Mother Shucker.
The Mother Shucker. I apologize.
Thank you.
But yes, we have Katrina Brees from the Bearded Oysters here. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to, finally tell some of these stories from the parade route. That's so exciting.
I am very excited to have you on because one of my favorite personalized throws of all time, and I believe it was one of my first, but it has a very sentimental meaning to me. And we're going to talk about it here in just a little bit. It's here in front of me. So tell us a little bit about the origins of the krewe.
Sure. The Bearded Oysters is about 19 and a half years old now. And we were started for Krewe of Oaks Midsummer Mardi Gras in 2004. And then we went big time immediately with Muses in 2005 was our first year. And since then have been doing the Muses Parade. In the past, we've done a lot of local parades. And currently we're also a headliner of Family Gras in the Krewe of Mad Hatters.
Which that's awesome because I got to interview Mad Hatters early on, and seeing the beauty of that parade, that's a real special parade to be in, if you ask me. There's something
it really
very
is.
beautiful and it's the best thing that I can say about it, and it almost feels like a mix between a Mardi Gras parade and like a Disney parade that it's so beautiful and so fun. I enjoy going to it every year.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear
Yeah,
that. I've been working with the founders of that parade since the beginning, and have made a lot of creative contributions. And as a artist, I love working with them so much. It's really like the sky is the limit on the way that they can envision a parade. There's different space and audience in Family Gras that I really enjoy. And it's just such a special event. And part of why it's special is because the people that are there are mostly locals, and you get to see like all these different types of families. Like as you parade, it's like from the inside, it's like a parade of families,
yeah.
So it's just like so beautiful. Like I am so proud of the Krewe of Mad Hatters and being a part of that.
So how did y'all come up with your theme? I mean, it's definitely
Yeah.
a an authentic theme, shall we say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I first came to New Orleans in 2002, I moved here, and I was from the Boston area. And in that area, clams are very popular.
Yes.
And so when I was trying to conceive of how to introduce another women's dance troupe to the scene, at that time, they all had names like Camel Toes and Pussyfooters.
Yeah,
And so I was
tongue-in-cheek
thinking,
names.
yeah, like I was thinking we could be the Bearded Clams. And as like a nod to my Yankee roots.
Mm-hmm.
But and at the time I lived near Giacomo's, which is a seafood restaurant. And I asked their manager to drop onto my lawn a bunch of clamshells that he said he had. I said, "Do you have clamshells?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, we have so many clamshells." And I was like, "Great, drop them off on my yard." And then one morning I wake up and there's just like all these oyster shells on my yard. And I was like, it's bearded oysters. Like that is the perfect thing for so many reasons. Like the oyster has so much meaning and is a much more important bivalve than clams in this culture.
Yeah. So y'all's costume design, I mean, pretty much all the, all as the name states, all of the ladies in the group have beards on.
Yeah, yeah. And well, it really means about our merkins. And so the true like treat of seeing the bearded oysters is to get a bearded oyster to show you what's under her skirt. And the women have these amazing art installations on their panties and that are hilarious and turn miles into smiles. So if you get to see them, I really hope you can get them to work their merkin for you.
So one of the thing that I had talked about coming into the show, at one point several years ago, I received a decorated oyster from someone in your group.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a regular throw per se that y'all do?
It is a regular throw, but we rarely do it, and you are very special to have received one.
Yes, and I could tell because it came with a little note as well.
Oh, what does
And
it say?
it says, "Something about you drew me in. I painted this oyster for you, and I'm not an artist. I'm just a teacher who loves that. Or I'm sorry, I'm just a teacher who loves that carnival allows me to be what I am not. This year, I am a bearded oyster artist. Thank you for
Aw.
drawing me in." And it happened so fast when I got it. I was watching the beauty of y'all passing, and
Aw, that is
I'm
so
looking kind of
sweet.
straight forward, and I just feel this like a almost like a fist come into my chest, and
Mm,
I realize that it's not a fist; they're handing me something. So I
mm-hmm.
I grab it and I said, "Thank you." And they kept walking, and I was almost in due to lack of better words, almost like a trance watching y'all. And
Wow.
I was dancing with the music and everything, and it came into my chest. And after y'all passed, I looked at it, and my if my co-host was here, he'd tell you because he was standing right next to me. He was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "Dude, this is the best thing in the world."
Aw,
Yeah.
I'm so proud.
So yeah, I caught this uh this decorated oyster.
Uh-huh.
From what it looks like on the top, it says 2016 in like the where the hinge of the oyster is usually.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, it's a beautiful designed oyster. The back is purple, green, and gold.
Aw,
So yeah, I mean, it
that's
was
great.
a very special moment for me.
Wow. As the founder, I only have the moments that I have, but I do know that the amount of moments that are created by the troop into the people is, I mean, it's just it's like infinity of joy that I get to spread. And that's such a beautiful story. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I mean it. Once we started doing this show, I told Kirk, I said, I can't wait till we get to interview with them and we can talk about the oyster
Oh,
because he knew the significance of it.
uh-huh.
So, to have y'all on, it's quite an honor.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
so what all parades are y'all marching? You'd said Muses and
The crew of
Mad
Mad
Hatters.
Hatters. Yes.
Uh, do y'all still do Midsummer Mardi Gras every year?
Not as a troop, but I would say that the majority of the members do like to march with Crew of Oak, but a lot of us are also Crew of Oak. So it's not as an organization per se.
Okay, so you all may be participating, but there may be some people who are dressed as oysters, but uh, you may be with your other troop per se.
Right. We have
Yeah,
higher loyalties on that day to the Crew
yeah,
of
yeah. Understand. Um, so how many members are in the organization right now?
Well, our the way that our membership works is it's really a lifetime membership. Like once you have experienced this with us and you want to experience it again, and your email address is getting the newsletters, then you continue to receive invitations to do things with us ongoing until you unsubscribe. And we have some members that have come to us as like paying members or members who contribute financially, and we have members who come who contribute artistically or represent different people that we want to bring joy to. In the last year, we've gotten to watch a lot of happy Ukrainian women dance with us. That's been amazing. And just expanding the joy to a lot of people. And of the amount of people that includes is over 1,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, how many people would you say that y'all march with
It
on a
will be
given parade?
between like 50 to 100 on those parades.
Wow. Um, uh, does your crew I know that some of the dance teams they'll basically have like a queen for the day per se, or to where they will basically allow them to almost lead their dance troupe through the parade that day. Do y'all do
Oh,
anything like that?
I think every single member in our group thinks it's them. But no, other than that, we don't have anyone specifically.
Yeah. So with your costumes, um, you'd mentioned that each merkin is specifically decorated. Do y'all
Hmm.
is it a once it's created, that's what you wear, or is it does it follow almost like like the new suit tradition, to where every
Uh-huh.
year a Mardi Gras Indian will replace, will have a whole new suit, or a whole different aspect to their suit.
Yeah,
Is
I
there
think
anything
it
like that?
depends. We have a lot of freedom in our group, and so it really depends on the member. There are some members that really invest a lot of time creating new themes each parade. And then there are members that are just like digging out their old used up merkin and sliding back into it.
um let's see. Um, how would one become a bearded oyster?
Oh, well, I would say it's a calling that one would feel a calling to become a bearded oyster. And then they would go online and find our website and they would be able to join right then through the website.
So there's no due to lack of better words, like an audition process or anything.
No, just a
Yeah. Yeah.
calling. But
Awesome.
you can imagine this is a
Yeah.
very specific calling.
Yes. Yeah. 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 I understand completely. Yes. um, let's see. Where all can people follow the crew?
Say that again.
Where can people follow the crew? Like
Oh,
I know
like
I
on
follow
social
y'all
media?
on, yeah, on social media. You'd mentioned your
Uh-huh.
website. What are all those addresses to
Yeah,
where?
so on Instagram, Bearded Oysters, um, our website, beardedoysters.org. You can Google bearded oysters and go down an oyster hole of information and photos.
um, uh, one more question about the merkins. Do y'all do like say a merkin decorating party?
Well, we used to
You know,
do that like before the pandemic, and
yeah.
then we haven't really been crafting together in yet again. Um, and I don't know how the right way to reintegrate that in a safe way is going to be. And I I don't think that the Merkins have suffered at all as a result. I think
Yeah.
that the Merkins have actually gotten better because people are kind of bored in their homes
Yeah,
more.
they've
And
got a lot more free time, and
yeah.
yeah, I find that since the pandemic, and even though you know the pandemic uh is lowered now, to where uh it almost feels like getting COVID now is just a passing in time thing. To where
Hmm.
you'll know someone, it's like, oh, they've got COVID right now, and
Hmm.
you because of the technologies that have changed, it's just a cold as opposed to being a death ray, shall we say?
Hmm.
But even still, you know, I don't find myself going out as often. So yeah, I've gotten quite crafty during the lockdown with miscellaneous
Hmm.
things with like I'm a model train guy, so like I'll
Oh,
work on pieces to my model train during the off time.
that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I can imagine that carrying over to where you know the ladies in the group could get more crafty.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Also, with their oyster shells, they get crafty, and with their costumes, they can wear whatever they want that's white and silver, and white and or silver in any combination that is comfortable for them. And I encourage them to be as glamorous as they want to be, and however they're comfortable, also physically, because it's like dancing for 5 miles or whatever amount that route is challenging.
oh yeah, I can
Um,
imagine.
so
Um,
having comfortable clothes is really important.
do y'all do like practices beforehand to get that stamina up per se?
Yeah. So I do lead practices leading up to the the parade. So starting in January, like for carnival season, we will have optional rehearsal meetups at Audubon Park.
Okay. Do y'all do any kind of community service projects? I know that that's become one of the things that I know a lot of the groups almost cherish as much as uh, participating in the parade is the that community service. Do y'all do some stuff like that?
We do some stuff like that. So the way that our organization is run is different. And there is no specific charitable work or direction that anyone is pressured to connect with their time or resources. However, we are doing some really big things that I have led that have been supported by my army of oysters. And the most significant thing that we've done is we currently have a legislation in Congress that is a gun suicide prevention bill that is named after my mom. It's called Donna's Law, and people can check it out at donnaslaw.com. And it enables people who are at risk for suicide to opt out of their ability to purchase a gun. So people like my mom who had bipolar disorder and had episodic psychosis, she was very capable of making life-preserving choices while she was in good mental health and prevent things from happening when she knew a psychosis could put her at risk. But because there are so many gun stores in New Orleans, my mom was able to just search gun stores New Orleans and go buy a gun and shoot herself, like, just so fast. And so this legislation enables people to opt out of their ability to purchase a gun, and it's voluntary and it doesn't interfere with anyone's Second Amendment right. In fact, you're not allowed to give up your constitutional rights, is one thing I've learned in this process. So that is a big effort that has been fueled by the Bearded Oysters in the last couple years. And my main focus, and I would say the main focus for a lot of the Bearded Oysters who want to contribute to that work. But I also encourage them all to just get in our Facebook group and ask other people if they want to help them do something for whatever cause they care about. They can show up with their merkins to support whatever cause is important to them. And they can be Bearded Oysters. And I welcome artist activism in the group, and I lead by example, and it has created a lot of really beautiful ripples throughout the sisterhood, seeing how by me activating and advocating, how it gives them a path, like as their Mother Shucker, to copy that and to find their own voice and make changes in whatever is important to them and find support doing it.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's a great cause, actually. I mean,
Thank you.
To be able to make such a change that it requires approval from Congress. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's no small feat.
Yeah, I've learned it might be easier to do it in DC than it is to do it in Baton Rouge.
Wow. You had mentioned supporting the crew financially. What are dues, if you don't mind me asking?
They're $375, but they are sliding scale. If that doesn't work for someone, we'll make it work for them somehow, and they'll be with us if they have the calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the price to do it, and that's a one-time price to join the crew, and that provides them with a lot of their costume pieces. And we have a pretty big team. I don't rely on volunteers for this crew. And so we have some really amazing people that support our crew on parade days, and I like to pay them. So goes to that, goes to music, um, toilet trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. The necessities for a parade.
Yeah. And we keep with every new member, we really get to like up what we have as a crew too. So it's really appreciated when people come in and we can use that money to upgrade things and make the experience better for everyone, in the crew and in the audience.
So the rest of the costume, outside of the merkin, is the rest of the costume generally provided by the crew, or does the
So
member also kind of?
we provide the LED light up wings that they
Okay.
wear.
Uh-huh.
And then we also provide a logoed backpack. And the reason that we provide those two things is because those are things they could just get on the internet, but they've been modified to be the most comfortable for the dancers and really like the essentials that I feel like my mother shucking hands need to make sure this is right for them in order for them to have a good experience. Um, so there are some items that we modify, but that and then the rest is really up to them. And I have a huge amount of racks of just white and silver pieces of clothing that I've collected over the years. So it's pretty easy for me to just kind of like fairy godmother twirl someone through the racks and get them covered in the right colors of clothing and comfortable with some wings. So it's up to somebody um, how much money they want to spend on their costume. I would guess there are some people in the group that are spending a lot on their costumes and really enjoy the process of putting that together and feel really special. But it's also possible to put something together without spending any additional money with the crew.
Well, that's cool. That's it's nice to know that if you want to customize it more, you can.
Yeah, we used to have maybe at the height of it like a 12-piece costume that everybody got. And I as Amazon got more popular and it became easier for people to just find silver or white sequence items that they liked that fit them. And it was just so much better for people to be able to bring their best look rather than have to everybody look the same and be uncomfortable about it.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy seeing what the members do with their costumes, and because our colors are always the same, people's costumes evolve over time and they continue to get better and better each year with a lot of people. Not everyone, some people just like pull it out of like the bottom of some bin and throw it on and come and
Yeah.
have a good time. But some of the people really enjoy adding to their look each year.
That's awesome. Um, so again, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. You know, to hear the stories behind the different groups and their formation and the progress and all. It's really inspiring to me. And I enjoy hearing everybody's story. Uh it's very educational for me, and you know both Kirk and myself would say that it makes each of the parades more fun for us when we have the story behind not just the parade organization itself, but the different dance groups. And for us, it feels like we're seeing old friends when we see the different dance groups that we've interviewed with come past. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, it it's so it's the same thing from the inside of the parades, being able to just see all your friends along the sides, and yeah.
So again, thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to seeing y'all marching again this year. Signing out. We will see you on the route.
Bye, yell Katrina, so I know.
I sure will. Thank you.
Okay,
All
bye.
right. Bye bye.